But the NHS as a whole needs our attention, shall we say. And many of the fantastic projects that we've already seen this morning, they shouldn't just be limited to St Peter's, they could be rolled out nationally potentially, and some of the projects that we've done here before in this hospital have been rolled out nationally.
We've been talking about creating a culture of curiosity and creativity. Loads of amazing work's being done in the organisation, and we wanted to come together really a year later and kind of expose the progress that's been made, the energy that's there. And I've been absolutely amazed today to hear from my colleagues.
Today we talked about two projects that I've been involved with, the first of which was regarding improving the weekend handover. So that's the communication between the weekday doctors looking after the patients and then those that are taking responsibility at the weekend. We have implemented a form based on the doctors on the ward, their working day practice, to hopefully improve their weekly handover system. We've measured the results of our intervention, which it's made doctors' lives easier, but it's also made decision-making about patients easier for those doctors and provided senior input into important decisions.
They've used an evidence-based approach to measure their impact. So it's not a case of them just saying to me, "Oh, Suzanne, this is really great for our patients." They've been able to demonstrate that through evidence that they've collected and analysed. So that brings a realness to it, a value to it maybe, in a way that we haven't necessarily seen before.
We don't even understand what you're talking about. What do you mean quality improvement? What do you mean PDSA cycles? What do you mean run charts? What do all these things mean? And why should I get involved? Because the problem is that none of these light bulbs are switched on. And until they are, you will never ever get, widespread engagement. You won't. That is the problem.
I think the theme that came out of today is that unless we empower everybody, the whole workforce, you can't make change from the top down. And actually, we see that in the community as well. And I think it's about engaging people from the bottom up, that even small changes that they might like to make will have a big impact as you go up the pyramid.
Clearly change is important, and I think as an individual, if we're faced with a problem, we should be encouraged to do something about it rather than just accepting that. And certainly here we've been invited and encouraged to do that within the culture that we have here at St Peter's.
If you give them the tools and you give them the time and you give them the space and you give them the permission to do that, they do it fabulously well. And what we've seen this morning is some really great examples of that.
It was really exciting to see how we've empowered the younger generation of doctors to make quality improvements that have had an impact on patient care. And I would really like to see how we could take it another step further and think about moving some of these quality improvements out into the community, to the wider team, so that we affect the whole patient journey and not just the patient's experience whilst they're in hospital.
Everyone's equally important in this trust. We need to be responsible for our patients, whether you are a porter, a nurse or a doctor. And I think, working together to try and encourage that culture of change for improvement is really important. And I want to drive the message home by saying that actually we are all responsible for our patient care, and we want to strive for the best, and long live the NHS.